Hello you beautiful people, welcome back to the Hike Plays video. Today we are going to be talking about Solo Leveling Arise. It is due to come out in only a few hours from now, so about 3 AM UTC, which I think is about 4 AM my time. I don't know if I'm going to be jumping on immediately, but I will be playing on the day at some point, and you'll see lots of content throughout sort of the week on the channel. But before we start anything, of course we're going to start with a big tier list video. So any of you starting the game for the first time, there is going to be a number of units that you're going to want to be able to pull, and realistically you're going to want to be able to pull at least 2 SSR heroes and 2 SSR weapons at the very minimum, and I'm going to be talking about that in the reroll guide. But right now let's talk about tier lists, and I'm going to start with the SR units. So when you start the game, you are going to get a bunch of units, as I said, and here are the SR units, and I've sort of ranked them in a tier list. Thank you to Tier List Baker for having one just sort of ready for me, and then I could just place, because I didn't have to go and create this. But I will say this is where I would sort of rank all the characters. The only ones I'm going to really talk about are the main two that I've got in the OP tier, and explain why I've put them there. And then, I mean, I love this boy. He is not that good in the game, I will be honest with you. It's probably more like that. Like, this is definitely the better unit. There's the better tank. But let's be real here. I'm going to keep my boy here. I'm definitely going to level him up. Right. Anyway, the two units I want to talk about are Park Hae-jin and Nam Chae-young. So Park Hae-jin over here. Why is she in the OP tier? Firstly, she's a huge DPS unit. Amazing for anyone that's going to be building that wind team, and whenever you need those wind units. But what's crazy about her is she actually has an insane support skill, and her support utilities are absolutely fantastic, so do not sleep on her. She is a fantastic unit and will sort of compete, I don't want to say compete with SSRs, but will mostly be competing with the SSRs. Pretty much these two units are sort of just fantastic to have around, and this could actually be up there, but we're going to keep her in the OP tier. We're not going to sort of overhype her too much, but she is the only unit. So Nam Chae-young is the only unit in the game outside of weapons. Weapons can do this, yes, but the only unit in the game that has a freeze at the moment, which is massive for a CC, like just the CC as a whole. This unit is absolutely broken, and you definitely want to sleep. Don't not sleep on her. So 100% make sure you've got her on your team. Next, I'm going to go pop these SRs into the tier list as well, and we're going to review them one by one. Peace. Hello, and we're back. So we do have the SRs on the tier list now. It is worth noting that chart is out, so if you go into your Twitter or X or wherever you get your solo leveling news, you will find that chart is coming out on release of Global, and she is going to be right at the top for SS Broken. And if you ask me, I would put her right as number 1, but I thought I'd caveat that right at the start of this video so that you guys are aware that that is who I would put up there. I will cover the SSRs and as to why I've put them in where they are. I'll start with the bottom boy over here, Woo Jin Chul. I probably said that, isn't it? I just call him Woojin, but yeah, Woojin Chul. The reason he is in that bottom tier is because honestly, he just isn't that good an SSR unit. I mean, he's a free unit, which is probably his only saving grace. The only reason I don't put him any lower, like into like here, is because he is a free unit, and I'll be real, he probably performs a little bit better than some of the SR units, but given that he is a free unit, he does sort of get a little bit of a helping hand. We are going to be able to get him and his weapon down the line. I think in the first week or two, you're gonna have access to him. In terms of like what to look out for, other than the fact that he's a free unit, his skills do look a bit like this. You can sort of read through it. He's a wind unit, and I don't believe, you know, we have some great wind units already in the game, and I don't believe he sort of exceeds any of them in any sort of manner, and we don't really need a big DPS wind unit anyway, so he doesn't really fit the bill. I wouldn't be too excited over him, but if you will get him for free, so yeah, do what you want with him. Now, the next character that we do have on that list in that same sort of category is Lee Bora. Again, she is a dark unit. Now, Lee Bora is not great for the tier list, and I mean only because she is like, we're talking first week of the game. She's not going to give us that much value. Down the line, we're going to need lots of dark units, and dark units that do really, really good stuff. She is going to fit that bill. So late game, she is much better. But for an early game tier list, she doesn't quite, do great. Now, she does want to be built in a dark mono team. You want to sort of just be building dark units around her so that her passives kick off and, she's doing all sorts of wonderful things. But for now, anyway, I'm just going to say she should be lower down on the tier list. she isn't a character I would be aiming for or pulling for, unless you, for some reason, really love the character. So yeah, if you do get her, well done. If you do not be pulling for her. Again, guys, on the reroll guide, I'm going to be telling you to literally be pulling for, only the SSS tiers, and even then, I would only be really pulling for a number of characters like Char, who is going to be absolutely broken on release. So next we got Huang Dong. He is a wind unit and a DPS at that. I think as a single copy, he isn't very good, but I can see the value in him. And I think if you do end up pulling multiple copies of him, he can sort of sit... I don't know if he goes into the broken category, but I can see the value in why I would keep him sort of where he is. And, that's why he's not a bit lower. Right now, I mean, the big skills to look out for is Urge to Kill. I love that, could be cast up to 3 times and, he removes target shields. And then over here, we got Cold-Blooded Connection as well, where again, he's removing target shields. He is a fantastic hero, just, I think, falls a little bit below the power curve of other SSRs. Now, his multipliers are fantastic, so his actual stat multipliers are wonderful, but I still feel he's missing something to go sort of above and beyond compared to other characters. Looking at Beeyun Ho, so again, now we're on that second tier of SOPs, and again, we're looking at a character that's a light unit. I think if you pick him up early, he is going to give you so much value, and the reason is we are going to get to phases in the game, especially when you start getting towards like Chapter 8, where we're going to start needing a big array of hunters. You might find yourself struggling in, say, the Igris fight, and I'm going to be real with you, the easiest way to beat the Igris fight is using light heroes, and Beeyun Ho is a fantastic light hero to use in that matchup. But yeah, I mean, his skill set is really, really nice as well. So if you actually just quickly flick through it, you'll see he's got lots of defense break on there, and yeah, he's just a wonderful sort of tanky boy that just gets through people's shields. So yeah, fantastic unit to sort of have. And the last one I'm going to be talking about sort of in this sort of segment, before we get to the broken tier, is Lim. And Lim, you could say, can go up a tier. He's probably the best of the OP tier by a solid margin, yet still falls a little short of the SS tier. If I was to create a second tier, he would sort of sit in the middle of that. He's just a fantastic dark unit, honestly. Like, if you want a good dark unit that just does a lot of damage, you can't look any further than him. He is absolutely fantastic to have. I'm not going to break down his kit too much for you guys. Hopefully we'll have videos on each character, sort of, and the way we will build them. Let's see who we pull as well when we are pulling in the game. And, as I start building characters, I'll be doing in-depth guides into their builds. But you can always come into the sladb.com website and go in and check out their builds if you are interested in all of this. So, I am now going to talk about the big SSRs, the broken SSRs, and in no particular order, these are the guys you are going to want to be pulling. I'm not sure if this is going to be available. I think that he's available on Global. I think we have him. I think we have access to him for a very short period of time. The Silvermane. Silvermane is a fantastic crit unit, and I think he's going to be even better once people get multiple copies of him, and he just stacks like a crazy person. He's probably one of the strongest units there, once people figure out how to build him really well. And again, dark unit, fantastic. So I 100% recommend Silvermane, assuming we have him on Global. Although, if you had to choose between him or Char, I would still be pulling Char 100%. Now you've got your units over here, so I'm just going to quickly go through them at the top. The units I think you should be pulling for the most, I'll sort of put to the side. I didn't really pre-plan this bit. There we go. So we'll start with these two. These two are the units that are OP, but I wouldn't go crazy for on the rerolls. You got Choi. Choi is absolutely good. Great fire unit, insane damage. And then you got Emma, again, tanky fire unit, very, very good at the start of the game. You will absolutely enjoy using her. Now, these are the two units I would recommend you reroll for. It will be Seo Jin Woo and Min Byung. Now, when we talked about the Igris fight, another light unit that's going to absolutely carry you through this is this guy over here. You have this guy on your team, you're going to cruise control through the story. You are going to absolutely love it. So I do recommend, if you're going to start up, these are the two units that you pull. They are the strongest two units right now for me. on that sort of broken tier, followed by these other guys. Maybe more like that. That's probably the way I'd sort of structure that. And then Char would probably sit right at the top, although we haven't had access to actually seeing how she plays. So I'm assuming that's how she's going to play out. Guys, I hope you find this a little bit, with a little bit of insight. I am going to be doing one on the weapons one as well. It will probably be quite brief, and then we'll be doing sort of more in-depth guides as the game comes out and as we start playing with it. I hope you enjoy this, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace!